What's up, guys? I'm back. Hold on, let me fix my camera. What's up, guys? I'm back like I never left. And before I start this video, before I start this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to your girl's channel and click that bell for post notifications so you guys get notified every single time I upload, because I know you guys want to see me, okay? Press that subscribe button. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about some of my BBL horror stories that I never shared yet with you guys before. You know, I feel like a lot of us, we only post on social media like the good, you know? It's very rare you find someone that posts literally like all the good, the bad, and the ugly, you know? So like I said on my channel before, I want to post the real deal stuff, the things that people don't talk about, and what better time to talk about it than now? For those of you who don't know, I have my body done. I'm a fake girl, okay? The only thing that's real on me is my hair, and I'm super proud of that. I am surgery pro. I'm all about making yourself feel good and, you know, changing things that you don't like about yourself if you can afford to change them, and if you're in the right mental health to change them. I'm all here for it. Surgery is a really crazy thing. It's very hard on your mental. It's very hard on your body. Recovery is crazy, honestly. Like when I did my body, both times, the second time was way worse than the first time because I lipoed way more than I lipoed the first time. Plus I did my breast the second time. I especially feel when you're going through the motions and you're post-op, you're still healing. So like you're still trying to get your body back in good standing. It's hard, especially on YouTube, where you have so many people just judging you and talking about you, and you know, you have such big influence. It's hard to talk about certain things that happen and certain things that go wrong during surgery because you don't want people to say like, I told you so, or like, you shouldn't have done this or that, whatever. We don't want to hear that. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about some of those things that I never mentioned before that happened to me that I'm now willing to talk about now because I'm way past that stage. The first surgery horror story that I'm going to talk about is when I first did my body in Miami. My first round I did in 2019 with Dr. Jonathan Fisher in Miami at, I think at the time they were called Vanity Cosmetics. They changed their name so many times. I remember it went from Vanity to like Jolie Cosmetics, and like now I don't know what they changed their name to. But I remember when I researched Vanity Cosmetics, they had like really bad reviews. But the Dr. Fisher that I wanted to go to, I remember his butts were like really huge. And at the time I had like no butt at all. My was as flat as the wall. I had one long back. So what I was looking for, and like what I told my doctor, is that I just wanted like a really big round butt because I had nothing. And I remember there was different doctors at the clinic at the time, and Dr. Fisher was the best one there. Like he was the most expensive at the clinic, and his butts were like perfect, nice and round. And like I looked on this website called Real Self at the time. This was like before doctors made Instagram pages. I used to go on Real Self and look at like people used to document their journey there. And I was looking at reviews and I was looking at before and afters, and I remember Dr. Fisher was like ideal. I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna go to him. That's who I plan on giving my money to. So I go into surgery. I remember Dr. Fisher telling me, and he was like, based on your body, we can't guarantee any results, blah blah blah. And I'm like, that's kind of whack, but I guess they have to say that just in case you come out of the surgery still with no. And they said, well, everybody's body is different. Luckily, that wasn't the case with me. I came out of surgery with a really big butt. Right before I went into surgery, I was talking to the anesthesiologist, and he was really nice. But I remember right before I got put to sleep, they put the anesthesia in my hand. Before they put the mask on me, I felt the drugs going into my hand. And I've had surgery before this, so I know how it feels to get put to sleep. They put like, the anesthesia went through my hand, and all of a sudden my whole hand felt like ice cold. It was freezing. And like it was super numb, and then all of a sudden it just started to like burn intensely. And I was telling the anesthesiologist, I was like, is it supposed to hurt because my hand feels like it's gonna fall off? And as I'm talking, the pain is progressively getting worse and worse. At this point, I'm literally like almost screaming, like my hand feels like it's gonna fall off, like please help. I just remember like the doctors just telling me to shut up, and they put the mask on my face, and then boom, I was knocked out. I woke up after surgery super delusional, super out of it. The whole time I just wanted my mom. I was crying. They didn't even leave leave me in recovery for that long. I remember I was only in recovery for an hour after surgery. Right after that, they just kicked me out of the clinic. I remember it vaguely because I was like delusional, you know? I just came out of surgery. I was out of it. I just remember them putting me on my knees on this like rolling thing, you know? And then like they rolled me to the car. And I just remember saying like, whoa, like I felt like I was gonna die. But I'm just trying to stay calm. You just did major surgery on your body. Of course you don't feel like 100% like this is normal. Just calming myself down in my head as this was happening. I just remember my best friend Shania, shout out to Shania, because she took such good care of me in Miami. I was bleeding like everywhere, like all over my sheets. It looked like we committed a murder because of how much blood was there. A few hours comes by and I'm laying down on my stomach on the bed in the hotel. And this is where the horror story starts, okay? When they put you under, they put like a catheter in your, not in your uterus, in like your pee hole, you know? During surgery, your bladder empties out into a bag. Telling Shania, I'm like, I have to pee, you know? So she walks me to the bathroom. It takes literally 15 minutes to walk to the bathroom. I'm sitting on the toilet, but I'm trying not to sit down. I just got my butt done. So I'm holding the sides of the wall, like just trying to like ease myself on the toilet. And I'm sitting there and I'm just waiting for the pee to come out. And the pee never comes out. And my bladder was full of urine and I could not pee. Guys, I was so scared. Can you imagine how scary that is? Like not being able to pee. Like I'm just there trying to force the pee out. Like I'm like, what's going on? Like what's not connecting? Like signals that I'm supposed to be giving to my bladder from my brain broken? Like did the doctor touch a nerve where now I'm not connected to my bladder and I can't pee? I'm sitting on the toilet and I'm bawling my eyes out. I'm crying. I'm literally like, whoa, what? Why can't I pee? I'm there like just saying like, oh my God, like I'm gonna die. I looked online and I remember seeing online saying that if you can't pee after surgery, there is something really, really wrong. Like there's something wrong. Now hours are passing by and my bladder is just filling up more and more. And imagine how this feels, guys. Imagine having to pee on a full bladder. Like it's like I drank 4 liters of water. That's how much I had to pee. But for some reason, it just wasn't coming out. I seen online, they were saying like, this is not good, like this is bad. And like, if you can't pee, you could die. So I'm literally terrified. I'm like, oh my God, like why me? Like, why did I have to like be the one affected by this? And I just remember saying to myself, like, Brandy, like don't give up. You're gonna freaking pee. Cause I didn't wanna have to like go back into the car and then like take a cab back to the clinic so they could like help me pee. And plus I was in the United States and healthcare is not free in the US. So like I can't even go to a hospital. It took me an hour to get to this room from downstairs. Okay, this is right after surgery. It took me an hour. There is no way I'm going back downstairs to go to the hospital to pay an arm and a leg to see a doctor just so I could pee. So a girl like me sat on the toilet with my hands like, I was hovering the toilet, you know, with my hands on the wall. And like, I sat there and I just pushed, and you know you're not supposed to push, but I'm like, this pee is coming out of my bladder today. And I sat there and I pushed and I pushed and I'm just like, please, like trying to send signals to my bladder, like subconsciously through my brain, like you better pee. You better empty because you're not costing me more money than I already have. Plus I was 19 and like, I'm pretty sure I was like broke. Like I was in Miami, like I just saved up enough money to get my body done and like, that's it. Like I didn't have any more money to like spend on leisure stuff, like, or emergencies. So eventually after like, it felt like forever, I finally peed. If I didn't pee, guys, like I could have died. That's so scary to think of. Like surgery is no joke. My second horror story is not really a horror story, but it's kind of something that I did because you guys know I'm DIY queen, and being a DIY queen means that like, I feel like I'm capable of doing anything that anybody, even people who are trained to do that, can do. I feel like I can do it better. Now we're talking about the second time I did my body. So this is the second time. I'm in the Dominican Republic and they put a pain pump in my hand. I think I spoke about this on my channel before, but I'm just gonna reiterate. So basically right after surgery, they ask you like, do you wanna pay for a pain pump? I think it's $300 US, and it's basically a pump of like morphine and like drugs, like so you don't feel pain. Hence the name, a pain pump. And I remember sitting there and I don't know what it was. Anytime I moved my hand, like it just really, really hurt. Like my whole hand was like in pain, you know? And I'm just here thinking like these freaking Dominicans, like they didn't put in the freaking freaking IV right clearly, because I've had an IV in my hand before and this hurts really bad. I remember a few hours passed by, and I'm the type of person, I fixate on things. Like, I'm not the type of person to have a headache and then forget about my headache so it can go away, you know? I will sit there and just think about, oh, my head is hurting. Why can't I think? You know, like, I need a Tylenol, and until I get the Tylenol, until the headache goes away, the whole time I'll be like, I have a headache, I have a headache, I have a headache, which is not good. I know, I have to work on doing better, but hey, I'm learning more about myself every single day. Hours pass by and this pain pump is in my hand, and the whole time I'm talking to like my ex and my cousin, like, I don't know what to do with this pain pump. Like, at this point, the pain pump is causing me to have more pain than the surgery. So what I did, because I think I was doctor, I said, screw this pain pump. I took it and I just started like trying to rip it out my arm, you know? I tried to rip it out and it wasn't coming out because it had like two staples like beside it, you know? I guess they put it like that so they could only take it out. I'm there like trying to do surgery on my hand, taking out the staples. Took out one staple, took out two staples, and then finally, I freaking pulled the long pain pump out my hand. The pain pump was long, it was like this long. I'm like, the pain pump didn't even work. I'm here talking about the pain pump. I'm even telling people on Instagram, guys, don't get the pain pump. If they ask you to get the pain pump, don't get it because it doesn't work. Guys, the next day when I woke up, the amount of pain that I was in, yo, the pain pump works. That's all I gotta say. That pain pump freaking worked. I felt like I got hit by a bus. The BBL surgery is no joke. I would rather have got shot. I would have rather got shot. The next day, I remember just sitting there crying like, please, somebody go get me something. And I remember in the DR, like if you don't have a prescription, the highest painkiller that they're allowed to give you at the pharmacy is like a Tylenol extra strength. I don't even use Tylenol extra strength when I have a headache because it doesn't work. Can you imagine after doing your body, having major surgery, liposuction, where your skin feels like it's about to rip apart, and then somebody saying, here you go, for your pain, a Tylenol, extra strength. No, I would never go through that again, hell no. I need to feel it for me to understand. I still didn't learn my lesson after I took out the pain pump, because you know what I did? In the DR and in certain countries who do BBLs, they give you a drain. So basically a drain is like a tube that sticks out of your body. I had a tube right behind my arms because I had arm lipo, and I had a tube in my lower back right on my butt crack. And that tube is basically to rid of all lymphatic fluids. When you get a BBL, you need to do like lymphatic drainage massages to get all the fluid out of your body. The lymphatic fluid comes out through that drain at the bottom. You just have to literally get a massage, and you massage out the fluid, and like it like comes out like pee through the drain. I always feel like I can play doctor, and I'm more qualified than the doctors to do things. You know, this is just, I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know why I'm like this, but this is what, I don't know. I just do that. I don't know why. So I said, this can't be that hard. Why did I try to take out my own drains, guys? I tried to take out my own drains. And I remember like pulling it, yanking it, like take it out. Instead of like waiting for a doctor, I'm there in the mirror, like with the drain half out, like looking in the mirror and like trying to like see the staples in my back so I could take them out, and I'm just trying to yank it out. Just wasn't going. And I remember standing by the mirror and like I was so persistent. I'm like, this drain is coming out today. And I remember picking out the staples that were around the drain, and all of a sudden I like pulled the drain like this, and the whole thing just came out. I remember pulling it, and it was long, like it was long piece of freaking drain, you know? And like bare fluid just came out. Like it kind of felt like I peed myself. Like it was a sensation like pee coming out of your body through my back, you know? I do not recommend any of you guys doing that at home. Like, don't pull out your drains. Like, don't be like me. I remember I just pulled out this drain and I pulled out that drain, and I'm just like, I can be a doctor. Like, give me my PhD certificate. Call me Dr. Brandy, are you dumb? And last but not least, this is the third horror story that I'm going to tell you, and this is probably the worst one yet. I never talked about this as I was going through it because I didn't want to be judged. I didn't want people to tell me like, oh, I told you so, like you shouldn't have did your body in the Dominican, like whatever. First of all, I knew my doctor killed people because it's public knowledge. Like, I knew the doctor that I went to like had deaths before, you know? Hearing about how like the Dominican water is not safe to put on like open wounds. You're supposed to not bathe with the like the Dominican water from the tap there, you know? I'm gonna take my chances. I'm 22 and healthy. I'm not gonna die. Granted, I didn't die, but I got a disgusting infection in my boob, guys. Okay. Oh gosh, I never really thought I would tell my YouTube this story, but like, who cares? Like, this is educational at this point, and I'm alive. They told me not to bathe in the Dominican water. They told me not to put the water on my body. And I remember, first of all, I have ADHD and OCD, so I'm very compulsive and I have very obsessive like traits. Like, I bathe 3 times a day. If my bed's not made, I can't function during the day. Like, certain things like that, you know? And like, taking a shower is literally one of my compulsive disorders. Like, I need to take a shower like 2 to 3 times a day. So after you do your body, you're not supposed to shower for like 2 weeks, or like you're supposed to like pat down, you know? But I did not do that. I remember sitting in bed and I remember being so freaking itchy. Right after you do your body, you're gonna itch and itch and itch and itch. It's so freaking itchy. Like, you're just itchy. Like, I remember I had pads like in all my holes, you know, like literally like period pads, like to cover like my incisions because they were just dripping fluid out of them. And I remember I was in my faja and it was so tight and I was so itchy. And I remember I was in the middle of the night and kind of in and out of sleep, you know, my eyes were closed. And I remember like waking up out of bed and being like, I'm itchy, like I need to go take a shower. I remember running into the bathroom, like, well, not running because clearly you can't run after surgery. It was more like a very slow but intense crawl, you know, into the bathroom. And I remember I sat there. I just want to just hop in the shower and like take a shower. I'm so itchy. So I get into the shower and I remember I'm just bleeding profusely. And of course, the Dominican dirty water touches my incisions. And like, I'm not thinking anything of it. I'm like, I have my antibacterial soap. I'm like, I'm still kind of itchy, but like I kind of feel a little better. And it sucks because your skin is literally numb after lipo. So you're literally like itching and it's like you can't really feel it. So like you could be itching too much and damaging your skin. This shower that I took didn't even do anything because although I took a shower, I'm still extremely itchy, you know? That was the only shower I took when I was in the Dominican after surgery. But like I said, guys, they tell you, don't make your incisions get wet. I remember my left boob, the incision was amazing. It was like small and like skinny and like beautiful. I remember it was like, I'm like, wow, this is gonna heal so nicely, you know? But my right boob, for some reason, like the way it was, like it kind of looked like dumb. Like, I can't explain it, like kind of like open a little, you know? And I remember like looking at my boob weeks later after surgery, like I still seen my incision like poking out. Like, it's like they never closed my right boob. So fast forward, I remember I was doing this scar therapy from my boobs, silicone scar sheets, like a sticky sheet you put on your scar and it stays there forever until it falls off and then you have to replace it. And what it does, it shrinks your scar. So I had my silicone scar sheets on my boobs from the very beginning. I went to New York 6 weeks after I did my body and I was still kind of stiff, but like I was healing very nice. I had the scar sheets on my boobs the entire time. I was getting dressed and like I was doing my hair and I could put my hands up, you know? And like I smelled this smell. I was like, what is that smell? Like, it smelled like really bad, you know? And I'm there trying to think, I'm like, what's that smell? Is it my armpits, you know? I take off my silicone tape off of my boob. It was my breast. My breast was stanking. My right boob was so infected, guys. Like, it was so infected that it stunk. I was so pissed. I was like, again, I'm in the New York, you know, so I'm not trying to go to the hospital to get like billed a freaking hospital bill. Now that I'm noticing that my boob is infected, it's starting to hurt, you know? I take off the tape and like there's just pus and like there's literally like a hole in my boob, like a hole. The main thing that people fear when getting surgery abroad, I have it right now. Like, this happened to me. I was pissed. So now I'm scared. I'm like, oh my God, and I'm thinking the worst. I'm like, what if I have to like, what if the infection went all the way down to the implant? Like, what if I'm gonna have to like remove one of my boobs and then I'm gonna look like a cancer patient, like with one missing boob? Or like, what if the infection spreads and like I die? Like, I was just thinking the worst. So then I go to CVS, got alcohol, and I'm putting alcohol on it and I'm cleaning the area. And I remember I read online that you're not supposed to put alcohol because it like kills the good and bad bacteria that wound needs. But I didn't care, like I still put the alcohol gel on it and I put like an anti-cream on my boob, you know? As soon as I got back home to Toronto, I went to the doctors and I got a prescription and I started taking antibiotics to like help get rid of this infection, you know? And this whole time I'm literally thinking, looking online and seeing the worst, saying that I could have like a deadly skin infection, staph eats like your skin, and like pictures of people who had staph infection and like there was literally holes in their skin and like big ginormous holes in their skin, and I'm like, I only had one hole, but like still, you know? As time progressed, guys, I remember looking down at my boob and like 2 little more holes were like there, like below it. Like, so I had like a big hole at the top and like 2 little holes like in my boob. And like at this point, like I've been taking my antibiotics and like smell is gone, like there's no scent there, but like why isn't my wound healing? I literally took 2 rounds of antibiotics and still like I could see that it got a little better because there's no smell and like there's not much pus there anymore, but like the wound is not closing. I ended up having to go to the freaking hospital, guys. I went to the hospital and I ended up having to get 2 rounds of like IV intravenous antibiotics, and they were giving me a really hard time because they were like, oh, like you got your body done, like this is what happens when you don't get your body done in Canada. And I'm just like, shut up, honestly, like I don't need to hear you right now, I already know. Long story short, after I got 2 rounds of the intravenous and an ultrasound stating that like my boob was still fine and good to go, my boob eventually healed. So yeah, guys, those were my BBL horror stories. Comment down below if you guys have had any surgery horror stories yourselves. Us people, we live in such shame sometimes, and like we get ashamed, not even just shame, but like we don't want to hear people's mouth. Like we don't care to hear I told you so, or we don't care to hear like those things. Like I'm talking about it on my channel now because even if you guys say this is why you shouldn't get your body done in DR, blah 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 blah, like I'm at the point where I'm like, my mental is okay to hear the I told you so, and I'm fine and I'm alive and I still love my titties, you know, at the end of the day. And yeah, this is just to show you guys that you guys need to really be careful, really be careful in picking your doctor when you go to your body or your breast, and making sure that they're qualified and they don't have any deaths or they don't have any like history of infectious diseases. I've heard so many stories after me of people going to the Dominican Republic and getting work done and coming back with disgusting infections, staph infections in their stomach, staph infections in their butt, like holes all over their body. Like unfortunately, I was a victim of one of these stories. I'm just grateful that I'm alive, and I'm grateful that my stupid decisions as a kid didn't really affect me, but still gave me that little like lesson. So I'm aware, you know? Definitely be super careful, guys, when you're doing your body in any foreign country. Dominican Republic, their bodies are so amazing. They're so good. I don't know why. The DR, they just know how to shape a woman's body. But like, I've heard too much stories on like infection there, you know? So I would recommend anybody who is gonna get work done abroad, go to Colombia. Colombia is so much safer, and like the doctors are just so much better there, and like the water isn't as bad there, you know? If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Literally, comments help so much with the algorithm, guys. So please like the video if you did enjoy it. I'm gonna be exposing myself all the time, so this is just gonna be one out of many other stories. I'm happy, and I hope that this video helps somebody. For those of you who want to be involved in the surgery community, I have a Facebook surgery group that I will leave in the comment section down below for you guys, so you can join. It's a very educational group. If you are planning on getting surgery, or you know someone who wants to get surgery, or you're considering getting some sort of work done, the surgery group is a great community where you can feel comfortable with sharing your photos and asking questions, and that sense of community. I know with surgery and bodies now, it's become such a trend. I feel like it's not as looked down upon as before. When us women, when we want to get our bodies done, we just want that support from people, and my surgery group gives that support, which I love. I love my community. I love everybody in that group. We're such a family. So if you want to join the family, please click the link in the description box below to the Facebook group. Yeah, guys, don't forget to subscribe to your girl's channel and comment down below what next videos you guys want to see from me. I'm gonna be just like talking and exposing all my business on my channel, so I'm super excited for that. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you guys judge me, I don't give a F. This is an educational video, okay? And I hope that you guys learned something from this video. Please comment down below what you want to see from me next, as feedback is important because I make videos for you guys, for my viewers. So please comment down below what you guys want to see so I can make that content and give it to you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.